Live.
We are live. Okay, I'll be sharing my screen. Please let me know if you see the 30-day garbage to garden challenge. Um, can you see? Okay, thank you, Karen. All right. So welcome everybody to the kickoff for batch 23 of Bokashi Tenoy's 30-day garbage to garden challenge. So um, my name is May, and I will be leading this presentation and eventually the batch when it starts on Saturday. Okay. Okay. So the agenda for today is obviously to introduce ourselves, so which we've already started, and then we also like to introduce the program to everybody and Bokashi as a composting method. We'd like to be able to discuss some of the important parts of not just the program, but also Bokashi as a whole. Okay. Um, I'm sharing with you the agenda just so you have an understanding of the structure for the next hour. After the discussion, we will uh, we will discuss your expectations and also have some time for question and answer. All right. So if you have any questions, please go ahead to type it in the chat. Somebody will be in charge of responding to you in the chat. But of course, there are also there's also a chance at the end of the presentation to ask your questions live so that we can discuss the answers as well. Thank you for the ones who have just joined us. We've only just started, so you haven't missed a lot. All right. So we will begin with, of course, who is Bokashi Tenoy, right? Bokashi Pinoy is a social enterprise fueled by the passion of like-minded volunteers. We aim to raise awareness on the ecological impact of humans on the environment and provide solutions focused on individual responsibility and accountability. It's important for us to realize that we can't wait for other people to do the things that need to be done because in most cases we must act. The action has to come from every single individual. So Bokashi Pinoy has found ways to adapt the method itself to the Philippine climate, right? We have taken into account our own climate and lifestyle. And also, we have perfected and pioneered the method that we will be teaching in the 30 days, in the next 30 days. So we found ways to help participants succeed on their first try on Bokashi. Our efforts have diverted food waste from landfills and allowed urban areas to revitalize available soil. Okay, so you don't have to go all the way to a farm, or you don't have to have a lot of uh, land area in order to succeed in composting or in Bokashi. You can work with what you have, and that is part of the program that we've developed to make sure that you can make do with what you currently have around. We also create additional income for farmers during the off season and support a circular economy through the use of upcycled materials for all Bokashi stages, which we will discuss as we go along through the hour. Okay, right? So we also would like to introduce to you who is Bokashi Tenoy. So this is the core team made up of Miss Lanie Bokashi, Miss Lanie Francisco, sorry, Miss Lanie Francisco, who is the founder and CEO, and then the rest of us. You see my picture at the bottom right corner. So the ad actually introduced me as Tita Potter, which is my namesake in my Instagram account. I will be leading the batch for batch 23, right? So all the other mentors that we have here, Ms. Ninfa, Sir Roy, Janina, and Tammy, these are all the core senior mentors. But for batch 23, the one we hope that you will join, we will be uh, we have a new co-mentor whose name is Karen. I'll ask Karen to turn on her video so that she can say a quick wave to the participants. Karen, are you there? Right. So maybe you can just do a quick wave so that they can attach the
Hi
name.
everyone. Yes, hi everyone.
Okay. Okay. Also, I'd like to invite Miss Lanie to say a few words to as an introduction. Lanie. Miss Lanie, can you hear us? Oh yeah. Oh, so Miss Lanie doesn't have an audio, so we'll go around to her later during the presentation. All right. So we'll move forward with the agenda. After we've introduced ourselves to you, now we'd like to introduce to you what is bokashi. Right. Bokashi means fermented organic matter in Japanese. Okay, it was developed in Japan and in response to the need for a method that was best fit for small spaces. So this is actually one of the reasons for why I uh, I I prefer bokashi over all the other composting methods because I know that in Japan they have really small houses and very small spaces so that if they can do bokashi in their household, I know that it doesn't smell, okay? Or at least there are no foul smells. So that's very important to me, right? Um, so what do I mean by other types of composting? Because we know that there are other methods out there. Traditional composting, if you're not familiar, is the decomposition of organic matter. Uh, the thing with traditional composting is actually they've been around it's been around for a very long time, and yes, you can do it. It's good for the environment, but a lot of people choose not to do it because it's a bit difficult for them. Okay, there is an unbalanced rate of decomposition. You kind of don't really know when it can be ready or when you can add things, what kind of things to add. Also, it's associated with foul or rotten odors. It seems to be attractive to pests and scavengers and has random bacterial growth. Also may breed pathogens. So this is not to say that traditional composting is bad. It's just that it has higher requirements, right? There's a lot of space that's needed and a lot of effort also that seems to be required. Okay, but in bokashi composting, this is the chemical breakdown via controlled acidification with beneficial microorganisms. That's a long explanation, but basically what we're doing is that we are adding beneficial microorganisms so that the process, the food waste begins to ferment. Okay, so that the decomposition towards the later stages becomes faster and more controlled or more predictable in a sense. It's also associated with sour smells, if any, and it actually repels pests like cockroaches, rodents, and scavengers. It supports fungi or white mold growth and is also, like I said, applicable to small spaces. Right? So the reason why I wanted to discuss that with you is so that you have a sense of what you're getting yourselves into. Because a lot of our participants are actually go into bokashi hoping for fertilizer. That's usually the main reason. And the second reason, a close second reason, is also because they want to live more sustainably. There are many ways to do this. And while traditional composting is one of the ways, we invite you to try bokashi composting as a good entry level method into living sustainably. Right? Okay, now The circle of life. This is our next stage. Wait, let me see. Okay. So why do we bokashi? Nature employs a circular economy by default, the circle of life, so that aligning with nature's processes leads to sustainability. Some of you may have already uh, gotten yourselves familiar with the circular economy. Let me quickly discuss. Because right now, as humans, most of us are part of the more common linear economy, which is what you see on the left side of the graph. So the materials that we have start from the products that we use start from raw materials that go into production, uh, into products that we use that generate non-recyclable waste. Okay, this is the common problem. A lot of us, because we want to live sustainably, have moved into what is called a reuse economy, which is what you see in the middle of this photo or of this slide, where the raw materials go into production so that we have products that we can use, but it still generates non-recyclable waste, even though we make efforts to recycle some of the items that go into production. Now, a truly circular economy, which is what you see on the right side of the screen, is when we design products, okay, from the beginning, design or choose raw materials that go into production that don't go to the wasteland once we are finished using it, so that the product itself goes straight back into production and we don't keep having to find or having to source virgin material. Okay, in that sense, what happens is what is already in production just keeps getting used and increases in value because of the length of time that it is used and not thrown away. Right? So the circular economy is what we see to be the solution to the current problems of climate change and the denudation of the forests. And also because it is actually what happens by default in nature. This is nature's processes. Whatever lives eventually dies, and when they die, they just get recycled back into the ecosystem. So the nature is itself circular. Okay? But we also see that in Bokashi, that is the same cycle. We have stages in Bokashi so that we will discuss how we do the composting method. We'll lead you through stages 1 to 5, right? Um, and you'll notice that after stage 5, it goes straight back into stage 1. So that when you practice Bokashi, by itself, you're already creating your own small ecosystem. So stage 1. Stage 1 for us is the segregation of food waste and the addition of our Bokashi Ipa. Okay, so the Bokashi Ipa is one of the products that we discussed earlier. One of the ways that we help farmers uh, manage the raw material spoilage in the farms. Okay, so for those of you who are familiar with other companies or the bokashi industry, you might hear other companies say that they use Bokashi brand. And we, as a company, Bokashi Tenoy, one of our differentiators is that we have a product called Bokashi Ipa. Okay, so this is rice hull that has been inoculated with beneficial bacteria. So this is not the regular kind that you see or buy at the garden stores. This becomes our fermenting agent. We will ask you and teach you the correct process for collecting your food waste in small tubs and then processing them with the bokashi ipa, allowing them to ferment and then transferring them eventually into the bucket. This is a critical point, your stage 1. For the 30-day challengers, we teach them the process because it's not just about doing something. it's about understanding why you are doing it. So after the 30 days, actually, you might want to tweak the method a little bit so that it fits your lifestyle or it fits your household better. But for the 30 days, we are trying to teach you basic principles. We're trying to help you understand the science behind it so that you can troubleshoot on your own. Because in the past, a lot of people, if you don't understand what's happening, it's very hard also to figure out how to troubleshoot when something seems to be going wrong, right? So our first week is a critical period when we provide you with daily instructions that we hope that you can follow so that you achieve success on your first try, right? So that is stage one. Stage two is anaerobic fermentation. That is when we ask you to seal your buckets to help the food waste ferment undisturbed for 2 weeks. Now, this is also a critical milestone, okay? Because for some of you who have already bought your kits, you might have one bucket or two. We have clients who also buy more than two in one shot. It's because they already have an idea of the kind of food waste that they have. For the challengers of the 30-day program, we will ask you to seal your buckets at the end of the first week so that we will journey together and achieve milestones together within the 30 days. After the 30 days, of course, you can seal your buckets at your own pace depending on how quickly your household will collect the waste, the food waste, how much, because that one will always change. There are some families who will fill up a bucket in a week, and then there are also some families who will take a month to fill up a bucket. Okay, but for the purposes of the 30-day challenge, it's important that we journey together so that we can understand the principles and understand the lessons together. So we want you to be able to experience it um, during the 30 days. Experience as much of the process during the 30 days. Okay? So on stage two, after the first week, you will seal your bucket. And if you only have one bucket, that means your food waste collection will stop because you only have one bucket. You don't have any place to put the other collections. So we recommend that you have at least two, but don't worry if you think that you only want to try with one first, right? So it's just that you have it in your head that stage after the first week of the challenge, we will ask you to seal, right? The third stage of the challenge is burying fermented food waste for 2 weeks. So we will return it to the earth to finish decomposition. This stage is about uh, aerobic decomposition. We have found ways to address each household's needs. So you don't need a backyard. If you have one, that's great. But you can also, we'll teach you how to find or use materials around you to create your own raised bed or find a place for a container method for the easy box method. We'll also be able to give you feedback whether the location that you have chosen is a good location or not, right? So for stage three, because there are some things that you may need to avoid depending on uh, where where you want to locate your trench, right? Or your raised bed as well. So that's stage three. Stage four is about harvesting your compost, right? So these photos are from the participants, previous participants. You'll notice that on the top photo on the left side, one bucket on the left is brown. That is your regular soil. This happens to have some regular rice hull that's been mixed in. On the right side is more what we call black gold material, which is compost. So the material that you will be coming out with from this challenge We call it compost. We are not creating soil. Okay. Your food waste will be mixed with soil, and it will eventually come out as compost. On the right side, you'll notice this is a picture of a participant who dug a trench in what is obviously very barren backyard. So it's so barren that it's hard, and it's very rocky, and it's already quite gray. But on her first trench, which is the one on top, you'll notice that it looks very dark. It is very dark and rich. So this is her harvest. This is her compost that is ready to harvest, and she wanted to share it with us. She's already dug a second trench so that she can bury her next bucket. So we will go through with you and give you tips and tricks to know when the compost is ready for harvest. So there is value in joining the program and doing it with others, right? Stage 5, oops, sorry. Stage 5 is about consuming safe and clean food, right? So this is a picture of one of our early participants who has been very successful with her Bokashi journey and has used her Bokashi compost to cultivate a little farm in her backyard in Quezon City. So this is an urban location in the heart of Quezon City. But obviously, she can harvest quite regularly. The plants are very healthy, and she even won an award for her efforts and for this garden. Okay, so this is what you can look forward to for yourself, because yes, it is uh, quite surprising and also very pleasant to know that a lot of these, one of the great things that have come out of this COVID pandemic is that it has encouraged a lot of people to grow their own food, right? So it's not so much that even if it was a trend, it's a happy trend. It's not a useless one. It's actually a very valuable one. And it's something that you can do and teach your children at a very young age. And it can also begin your bonding together, right? So let's do a time check now. It's 8:30, and we are more than halfway through. So definitely we will have a lot of time for your questions, right? But for now, we'll go ahead to discuss the schedule overview because we are talking about the next 30 days, starting on Saturday, right? So when do we Bokashi? Uh, we found a way, okay, to kind of be able to let you experience most of the stages in 30 days. So we've provided you a schedule, and those who will join the program will receive an invitation to a Facebook group chat where we will send the instructions on a daily basis, and we'll also send you a schedule for the milestone dates so that you can think ahead, so that you can also prepare the things that need to be prepared, right? So just in a nutshell, we'll start, because today is October 1, we will be starting on October 3rd, which is this coming Saturday. That is the official start of stage 1. We will be giving you the material on the morning of Saturdays. It will usually happen. It will always happen that the material is given to you in the morning, and so that you know what to do for the day. Starting October 3rd, you will be collecting, segregating, and processing, and you will be learning how, why, and what you are doing. Okay. The Saturday after that, which is October 10th, we will be guiding you into the sealing or the lockdown of your Bokashi buckets, because we will be transitioning to stage 3 on October 24th. Okay. Um, in between, we will have learning sessions so that we can guide you through what you need to prepare for stage 3, what you need to look out for, and how you need to prepare your locations for success, right? November 1st is our official end to the 30 days. So the closing the loop session is usually a Zoom session as well, but we might schedule that at a later date because November 1 is by right a holiday. But now because 2020 has changed our calendars quite a lot, the November 1st might change um, to a later date, but it's closing the loop is basically a way for us to officially close the program. But that doesn't mean the guidance will stop because we still do have stages 4 and 5. So we tend to keep the group chats available for any questions that you may have for the next 6 months. Okay, but definitely our goal is that after 30 days, we will have taught you enough of the information so that you will have the confidence to troubleshoot on your own and also experiment on your own, and then have fun with it, because the only way that you will keep doing something is when you love doing it, right? So this is, in a nutshell, the schedule that you'll have if you join us for batch 23. Okay, where shall we do this? Where do we bokashi? We will ask you tomorrow, the participants, to designate a bokashi area, which is a cool, dry location away from sunlight, rain, and water. So for those of you who already have kits, you can look for a location in your house that is relatively safe. Okay, a lot of our clients or a lot of our participants put it underneath the sink, which is what you see in the photo on the right, because it's easy for them to process. All the tubs are there already, and then they can keep all the materials they need, okay, so that it's all together. It's also possible for you to put it in a different location in your house. So for example, you can put it in a room as long as it's shaded and it doesn't get too hot. On the right side, you see a photo of an outdoor location where the buckets are covered with a tarp so that they are protected from rain. Okay, so if you have any questions, the batch participants, we will ask them to send photos so that we can provide feedback on whether or not it's a good location or whether the location will affect the process negatively, right? Okay. What do you need to prepare? You'll also need to prepare collection tubs because this is your first step for the first week, right? They need to be plastic, opaque, food grade, and with lids, okay? We recommend ice cream or biscuit containers that are at least half gallon sized or bigger, right? So your ice cream tubs or biscuit tubs, these ones are usually used. They can be bigger, not too big. So far, our biggest is a gallon size. Okay, although it gets pretty full quickly, especially if your household is into juicing, because a lot of the vegetables and fruit peels in particular sometimes can be big and bulky, right? So you can prepare about maybe five to eight, depending on the kind of food waste that you generate. For us, in my household, we usually just have a tub per day. So anything that I collect throughout the day goes into one tub, and then I don't open it again until after I have to transfer it. Okay. You will also need to collect paper waste and cardboards, exclude any glossy or thermal material. Remove tapes and staples, these do not decompose. So you'll notice that doing bokashi will also lessen other waste in your home because you'll begin to start thinking mindfully about the waste that you generate and what kind of things you can reuse or put back into the earth, so that you continue a circular lifestyle. So some of us have actually already started to, what you call it, export and you know, ask for donations for paper because we no longer have any scrap paper, right? Sometimes the waste that we have in our home is really an accumulation of things that we aren't mindful about because we can refuse receipts or we can refuse paper bills so that we can minimize all the stuff that is giving us asthma or allergies, for example. So in the meantime, while we are waiting for our food waste to be processed, there are other things in the home also that we will be using for the process that you can prepare with the rest of your family. Okay, so we are now at expectation setting. What will you expect in the next 30 days? The mentors that you have been assigned, so that will be me and Karen, daily we will provide guidance via daily instructions and reading material. We will also be available to answer questions. So like I said, for the benefit of the participants of the program so that we don't take up so much of your time, we schedule giving you the material in the morning so that you have time to read through, understand, and then apply it. And then so that you can formulate questions and then ask them throughout the day. For batch 23 specifically, we have decided that the mentors will be available at 8 p.m. every day to answer the questions that you have posed throughout the day, right? So that no matter what question you ask, you are sure that you will get an answer at the end of the day. If the question happens to be urgent, requires immediate attention, don't worry. We can decide to answer also. We've been doing this for um, the better part of the year and we're kind of used to it already. So we know when a question is urgent and we can choose to answer it. So don't worry. It is for your benefit that we don't answer throughout the day because what happens if it becomes distracting to your own schedule on a daily basis, that your group is noisy, right? We will also be providing relevant feedback. So um, it's important to us that you share your experience with photos and let us know what's happening so that we can tell you whether you're on the right track or you need to adjust certain things to the method, right? Which is part of your challenger tasks, right? If you choose to join us for the batch and the other batches that are coming as well, we humbly ask that you follow guidance via daily instructions and reading material. Throughout the course of the schedule, we will be asking you to answer some polls so that we can make decisions regarding the schedule for your um, learning sessions or the topics that you will be provided with, because sometimes that will change depending on your need. So please answer the polls and also join the learning sessions via Zoom because we specifically created the reading material or the daily instructions to contain very quick references only, meaning there are some information that will be best discussed through Zoom. Okay, we will provide you with a schedule and ask you for a poll 2 days ahead of time so that you can prepare. And also so that we can have a good turnout because a lot of the questions it's difficult to uh, get an answer to your questions if you have to watch a recording. So it's very easy if you can join us through Zoom. We've been doing it for quite some time and have been able to make sure that the Zoom learning sessions are quite quick. They're always within an hour. So if you can plan ahead, then it doesn't take so much of your time and it's very valuable information. We'll also ask you to share your experiences and document with photos. And also at the end, we'd like for you to complete the assessment so that we have an idea about your skill set and whether or not the program needs to improve for the future batches. So your feedback is immensely important, right? So, uh, closing the loop, at the end of the 30-day challenge, we also want you to know that what that you will take something out of it as well, not just the Bokashi composting method that we've taught you. It's not just we hope that it's not just a method that you've learned, okay? Because we would want you to continue doing it, okay? Who will eventually close the loop? It will be you, because the challenge stops at stage 3 officially, and 4 and 5 is you on your own applying what you have learned continuously, okay? You will be in charge of closing the loop, and also continuing the advocacy, because throughout the 30 days, you will learn not just about Bokashi, but also how it applies to your life, and how small changes can impact you greatly, not just in processing your food waste, but also changing your mindset and looking at the world with a new perspective. Right? Why? Because hopefully you've been Bokashified. That means you see the world in a new light, where nature and you are allies to each other and taking care of each other. Okay. Where will you be doing this? Hopefully in your community. Hopefully you can share what you've learned, not just with your friends or your family, but also in your neighborhood community, even in your jobs, right? When? Well, hopefully soon. We found that true passion cannot be stopped. And those who have fallen in love with the idea of living sustainably continuously speak of it to others, right? So this is the end of the presentation. And if Miss Lanie is ready, uh, I would like to invite Miss Lanie to quickly say a word to our participants. Miss Lanie?
Good evening. Can you hear me now, May?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So good evening, everyone. And before I start, I just would like to thank you because I think you carve a little bit of your time out of your busy schedule to attend this webinar. And I'm pretty sure that one of the reasons why you joined is because in your subconscious, there's already this longing to make an impact or at least do something for the environment where we are, which is at home. There's nowhere else we can do it at this point in time anyway. We cannot climb mountains or do beach cleanup, but there's something definitely that we can do in our homes. And I would like to thank you for choosing to join you with us. And we're hoping to keep you engaged and make this fun for you, hindi lang yung serious side of the advocacy. But the focus of this particular slide is actually the serious side of the advocacy. May and the rest of the mentors who are part of the Bokashi Pinoy movement are volunteers. They came to me with their passion and with their willingness to help out. And I can't say no to that because yun nga, sabi ni May, it's a raging passion to do something for the environment. And the funny part is, or the surprising part is, they didn't ask for salary or they didn't ask for anything in a monetary reward in exchange for their efforts. What they're asking, actually, ito rin naman yung nasa puso ko, and this is what I wanted to happen, is for us to be able to continue the advocacy in a community level. So meaning, hopefully after the pandemic, we can start this at a barangay level or community level. And in fact, si Tami, one of our mentors, is already starting it in her part of the world, no? But in order for us to continue the advocacy from a community standpoint, we need tools, particularly the box box. That's the most low-cost option. We need shredders. We need an F-track. So maybe you're wondering, what is the track for? Ganito po kasi yun. So at this point in time, if you're going to do your Bokashi for your residences, for yourselves, your Bokashi compost, whatever's the output of your efforts, is just enough for your garden, at least for the next 2 years or so. I've been doing Bokashi for 4 years now, but ngayon lang on the fourth year we're in, I've realized I have excess compost. So if I have excess compost, it's something that I would like to donate to others who need it more. Other than that, some of you probably live in a condo. So wala naman kayong paglalagyan ng compost nyo. So we are hoping that at some point we can offer collection services. So isa sa mga wish list namin lahat is to have an F track or an L300 track so that we can offer collection services. And of course, one of our big audacious goals is one day we can afford to buy a bioreactor to further make the decomposition process faster, because a bioreactor can process 500 tons of Bokashi compost in just one day, whereas we have to bury it for 2 weeks, diba? But if we're talking about tons of garbage, we need to do it fast. So wish din namin yung bioreactor. So the short story is we're asking for your help, either by just patronizing our products. The Bokashi Ipa in itself, yung brand namin, the brand of our brand, is already giving us additional source of income for our farmers in Nueva Ecija. So if you patronize the products, that's one ways of supporting us. Number two, if you want to further support us from a learning point of view or raising awareness, you can volunteer as a mentor, just like May now. She's a volunteer. And the third one is to join the 30-day challenge and maybe donate at least 100 pesos for the advocacy fund. So if you donate 100 pesos for the advocacy fund and you bought one of our starter kits, you can join the 30-day challenge and become, with the 30-day challenge, you will become a better advocate as well, because for sure we will be able to share with you how we were able to convince our family members, our community, and our neighbors to Bokashi as well. So yun lang po. 3 ways to help: patronize the products, volunteer as a mentor if you want to level up and help in raising awareness, and then number 3 is to donate at least 100 pesos for the advocacy fund. So there's still a lot of things that we want to do. There are already certain successes. One of those is that we are providing livelihood for those landless farmers in Nueva Ecija, and we don't want to stop. We want to continue. So ayan po. Salamat po. Thanks, May. Thanks for this chance to talk to our participants.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lanie. Before we open the floor for question and answer, do you guys mind if we take another photo? Because now it seems we're more complete, because a lot of the participants just came a little bit late. So we'd like to document your participation. If you don't mind turning on your video, we'd like to take a quick picture of the attendees. Again, thank you. Yay! Nandiyan pa si Baby. Thank you for joining us, Baby. Okay, Janina, will you be helping taking photos?
Wait, let me just change my view to gallery view.
Okay.
And we'll wait for the others to open their cameras. Those who are willing to turn on their cameras.
Okay.
Okay, game. Look into the camera. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
For
okay.
those who has questions,
Yes. Go ahead, Janina.
For those who have questions, please stay.
Yeah. Okay. So now that I see quite a lot of people, but nobody in the chat room, there are no questions. Perhaps that means you'd like to ask your questions live. Does anybody have any clarifications or any questions that you may want to pose before the start of the program, or whether perhaps there's something you'd like for me to clarify so that you can be convinced to join? The batch officially starts on Saturday, this coming Saturday, October 3rd. The next batch will happen 2 weeks from now. Okay, so we're skipping one week.
May, kung walang questions from the participants, akong gusto mag-question actually.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
If you can turn on your audio po or your video, just respond via the chat.
Okay.
Maybe ano yung hugot? Why did you join at least join the webinar? What made you interested in Bokashi? And maybe what are your plans in the next week or so?
Kindly check message from
Ayun, sabi ni Patricia, yeah, sige ma'am.
faster than the conventional composting from the YouTube watcher, from the YouTube audience. Is using Bokashi method faster than the conventional composting?
Okay. So there's a question from YouTube from Lala. Is Bokashi method faster than conventional composting? Yes, it is. Because of stage 1. What happens in anaerobic fermentation is that the food waste, the fermentation breaks down cell structures. Traditional composting usually will take anywhere, on average, about 6 months, right? And it's a bit more difficult because to achieve success on traditional composting, you have to reach a certain temperature. When you don't reach that temperature, it takes even longer to decompose, right? So in Bokashi, the first stage 2, where what happens is you seal the bucket and all the food waste is experiencing fermentation through the beneficial microbes. There is parang a pre-breakdown that happens before you bring it into stage 3, which is very similar to traditional composting. It's just that they've been pre-broken down. So it's faster. You can, once you put it into stage 3, you can harvest in 2 weeks for acid-loving plants. Or you can also wait another month to harvest it for more versatile use, right? So in general, in 2 months you already have stable you already have compost that's ready, right? As opposed to traditional composting that can take 6 months or longer. Can we feed Bokashi kitchen waste to ANC worms? Yes, you can. We can teach you during or after the program. It's important that you know also, that you know also what's happening and when to add it, and then also what kind. So if you have an existing vermicomposting bin, yes, we do have some practitioners. You won't be adding all of it because sometimes it's 20, the buckets are 20 liters, although we do have one that's available at 16 liters. You will add some in stages, but not all of it, right? Yes, but in small amounts. Yeah, okay. So there's also an answer to you from Miss Lanie. Okay. Thank you, Christine Joyce, for saying you are living with your own family and you realize that you generate so much waste and you want to lessen the waste to create and teach my kids as well. Yes, I realize we do have to start them young. We have to start them young because it's hard to unlearn the privilege of quick satisfaction. So it's very easy to collect all the plastic things because they're cheap and easy and convenient. The sustainable way can sometimes be inconvenient, but it's much, much better for us in the long run. Any other questions? Are we allowed to use our DIY buckets and donate the 100 pesos to join the program. I live in Jensan po kasi baka. Yes, but I think that one better to discuss with Miss Lanie. We do ask you to use our own products only because we understand what it can do. Sometimes the failure happens when you DIY, and we don't know where the failure lies, right? Because we don't know how the buckets were produced or made. Um, if you want to join the program, the you will only need the bucket on Monday. Sometimes some people will wait until Tuesday. So there's time for you to acquire at least one. So what our participants do is they sometimes do is they try it out first. Once they start doing their DIY, they realize that, oh no, there's something different with the product. And it's not that easy to DIY, even though um, it seems easy on YouTube, right? Um, so in order to learn the method well, and try and understand the principles, it's easier to learn it when you're using the right tools, right? Um, so that you also know how to properly DIY in the future. It's hard to use a DIY material on the first try. Okay, but you have time, and also there's the next batch that's coming as well. The Napizas. I sorry, I missed something. May I know where the next batch, when the next batch will start? 2 weeks from now. Sorry, what's the date? 17th. The next batch will be on October 17th. So they will have their own kickoff on the 15th, and it will be very similar to this, but they will start on the 17th. So matagal pa. It's wonderful to see. Yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so we're sending the order form to the group chat just in case you might want to see whether you can, uh, the delivery can make it, so that you can join this batch, right? Now I'm okay. Um, we're kumbaga wala namang pilitan. We do have a YouTube channel. Please go ahead to subscribe. We try and make very understandable, well explained content because we are here to help you. We're not trying to keep the information. We really want to share the information. So there's a lot of ways that you can join us. You can join our Facebook groups, Bokashi Tenoy Movement. And there's also, when you join a batch, there's a group that is specifically for the challengers called the 30-day Garbage to Garden Challenge. So you can, the links will be provided to you through the chats. So you can join those groups. We've found that doing this with a group helps. A lot of the participants who tried it on their own, their feedback was, oh, it was so easy for me to stop because no one was reminding me to do it. So again, we are here because we want you to achieve success on the first try so that you are encouraged to continuously do it, right? So we'll give you the tips and tricks so that you can continue it on your own and you won't need so much help afterwards, right? Sometimes there are practitioners who've been doing it for 6 months but still keep asking because they really don't understand the process behind it. But our graduates, after the 30 days, they usually just give us stories, they share because they can troubleshoot on their own already, right? They understand what's going on, what did I do wrong? Oh, this is what I need to do because, yeah. Okay, so that is the value of the mentorship program, right? Hi. Oops. I closed it. Sorry. Okay, so time check is exactly 9 p.m. right now. Can somebody help me? Sorry. Can somebody shout out any other questions that I may have missed? Sorry, mentors. If because I'm not sure whether I've missed any other questions. You can let me know. If we want to continue. Now is 9 p.m. Usually, we stop the webinar at an hour. We want to be prompt so that you can trust us. All our learning sessions are very quick and valuable. We respect your time. So if there are no further questions, I will start saying bye to everybody and thank you. Yes, Miss Lanie, did you want?
Wala, magbababay lang.
Okay. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining us. We hope to see you soon. If not in this batch, then it's the next batch. Send us a message through the Facebook groups. Let us know, and then we'll help you. We officially start on Saturday. If you can make habol on Sunday, go right ahead. The next batch again we'll let you know. So join the group so that you have an idea of the schedule, right? And that's it. Thank you everybody for staying, for joining, and for asking your questions. We hope to see you soon and journey with you on this batch. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Night. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Good
Bye.
night. There are 3 messages. Thank you. Bye.
Everyone's out. Just us.
Thank you. Okay,
Wait,
kaya
wait. Wait, okay, I'll stop recording. Wait, I'll end. Wait lang, paano ba to? Wait, I'll end stream first. Okay.
Okay,
End stream. Yeah. Are you sure you want to end stream? Yes. Okay, end stream na.